Welcome to the Big Red Wolf Report here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and ArizonaSports.com. I'm Ron Wolfley, and here on the Big Red Wolf Report, we examine the game that will be by pulling it through the game that was. The Cardinals are 9-3. Their three-game lead in the NFC West has evaporated, and although they are still the number one seed in the NFC, they're not trending well after losing two consecutive games. Now they prepare to take on a desperate Kansas City Chiefs team at University of Phoenix Stadium on Sunday. Steady yourself, Big Red Nation. This December could get a little cold and a little blustery. Big Red point number one. The Cards defense needs to hold up its end of the bargain. In what is undoubtedly a gross simplification of the truth, there's an unspoken agreement for Arizona and this team. This team needs its corners to be the lockdown corners they believe themselves to be, or it sets off a chain reaction that is difficult to overcome. When Patrick Peterson and the Crow don't play well, Todd Bowles can't be as creative in the box with his front seven. When his front seven becomes predictable or benign, they're not as effective. And when they're not as effective against the run, as we saw last week in Atlanta, everything breaks down. Like Popeye, the Sailor Man, the Cards' rush defense has the potential to right many wrongs and is the strength of this team. But never forget, Patrick Peterson and Antonio Cromartie are the spinach. The Cards need to stuff Jamal Charles and Niall Davis and not let them get going. The Chiefs' offense is predicated on keeping Alex Smith in a balanced offense, and Andy Reid has been running the ball in 2014 and running it a lot. But if the Cards' defense shows like they did against Atlanta last week, the Chiefs are going to shred them. Kansas City has a good offensive line, much better than Atlanta's, and more explosive, powerful backs. Big Red point number two. Make Alex Smith one-dimensional. The Chiefs' offense is dangerous when they're running the football and balanced. Alex Smith is a capable Q, a guy you could win a Super Bowl with if he's surrounded by a good defense and a solid rushing attack. But when he's put into predictable situations and becomes one-dimensional, he's average as the day is long. The Chiefs are number 31 in passing yards per game, with well under 200 yards per game, and number 27 in passing yards per play. They don't throw the ball in a prolific way, do they, Andy Reid? And Andy knows it, which is why the Chiefs are in the top third of the league in rushing attempts per game. Although I believe the defensive performance of the Cards last week in Atlanta was a defensive anomaly, Matt Ryan was in a balanced offense last week, and he torched the Cardinals secondary. Julio Jones had 10 receptions for 189 yards, and Harry Douglas had 9 receptions for 116 yards. Matty Ice finished with a 361-yard passing day and a quarterback rating of 105.8. Put Alex Smith in a similar offense, and he's capable of doing the exact same thing. Big Red point number 3. Take the ball away from the Chiefs' offense. The Chiefs don't give you the ball. They refuse to give you the ball. They have only turned it over 13 times this season. Alex Smith has only thrown 5 interceptions this season, and there are only 4 teams in the league with fewer turnovers than the Chiefs. The Cardinals, on the other hand, are one of the best defenses in the league when it comes to taking the ball away from their opponents. But they only generated 1 takeaway last week. Big Red has 21 takeaways this season, and if they hope to win their 10th game, the defense is going to have to force Kansas City into mistakes. You may have noticed all 3 Big Red points were directed at Todd Bowles' defense, and that's because of the agreement. If the Cards' defense doesn't show up and ball the way they're capable of, all bets are off in Arizona. If they hold up their end of the bargain and play the way we've seen them play for the vast majority of this year, there's nobody the Cards can't beat on their schedule. For Arizona Sports 98.7 FM and ArizonaSports.com, I'm Ron Wolfley, suggesting you eat your spinach and hold on to your butts this Christmas season. Santa might come a little late this year.